All right, let's welcome Jesse.
Okay, as Chris said, I'm Jesse Raymer. Can you hear me all right?
Okay. I want to raise your microphone just a little bit.
Is that better? Anyhow, tell a little bit my story. I originally came from northern Indiana. In 03, we decided to move to Kentucky, and that video that we watched before noon kind of rang a bell with me. I mean, up in northern Indiana, we planted the grass. We got good forage. It was a given. And that's a little bit different story here. But which way do I have to click this? That way, okay. Those are our broiler houses there in the distance. A little bit of a story about that. The first summer, the spring, we were working on our milking parlor, getting it ready for milking. And a rep from the chicken integrator, it was actually Purdue, stopped in and said, "Hey, we're looking to expand. Wondering if you'd be interested in building some houses." I said, "Nah, we're milking cows." About a week later, actually before that, I had took soil tests. And about a week later, after he was there, I got the results. I looked at it a little bit, and I gave the guy a call and said, "We are interested." This farm had been CRP ground before we got it. Kentucky 31 and broom sedge and whatever else grows. And so we converted to endophyte freeze and had decent success with it, but you had to replant it every couple years. And we decided we're going to switch to ryegrass. There's a couple of perennial ryegrasses that came on the market that were fairly persistent, and we had decent luck with it. The Platability on the ryegrass, of course, is much better than fescue, which we have dairy. I guess I did mention that. And we had fairly decent luck with that, but we ran into some years when we had hot and wet, and we ended up having to replant everything. And I said, "We're not doing this." So now we made the decision to go back to novel endophytes, and probably not the whole farm. We're still going to use some annuals. So that's what we have. Conventional grazing dairy. We're seasonal. We're actually right in the middle of calving right now, and also had to get those broiler houses ready for baby chicks yesterday. We got them, so this timing is not the best, but I enjoyed being here anyhow. 150 acres. We rent some ground. Okay, here's an outline. This here is rented. This here is our farm right here. Actually, my son, Daniel, who is involved in the dairy, owns this part right here. We own the rest of it. We also rent this portion, which we only make hay off of this. This here we use as a hay/wintering area for the dry cows. And of course, the last 2 years, this area back here and this here, you might as well, I mean, it was destroyed, whatever it was there. So, okay. What did I do now? There we go. Okay, there's a picture of the same field. This was seeded last fall, and I would say it was probably right at the end of September, I think is when this, Irvin? With a no-till drill. And to establish the new seeding, I'll touch a little bit on what we do, is you want to think at least a year ahead, if not 2 years. And to think about controlling annual ryegrass, volunteer, or crabgrass, What we've done the last couple of years is we've planted a mixture of chicory and red and white clover and plantain with no grass, where we could spray it that summer with a herbicide like Select to take out the goosegrass and the crabgrass. Then in the fall, what we've done is drilled Italian ryegrass into it. Now, you want to be a little bit careful with the ryegrass, but so this summer in June, latter part of May most likely, we'll kill that out and plant a worm season annual, which for us, a worm season annual is almost a must because of need something quality higher than even novel endophyte fescue for the dairy. Here, this is the same field, and whoops. You see those broadleaves in there? Does anybody know what buttercups are? They will terminate a new seeding of fescue if you're not careful. So this will get sprayed as soon as weather permits. Evidently, Chris took these pictures and he decided to take a picture of that dog. That dog was given to us by a neighbor, and she'll go everywhere I go. When we go get the cows, it was all the way out back. Of course, I'm a little bit out of shape, but she is too. Both of us will be puffing by the time we come back up. But there is a little bit of annual ryegrass in there. You can see that, which is just not enough to hurt anything in this situation. That's the same field. This is an older field of Bar Optima. I didn't look in my notes, but I think this was planted in 2012, I believe. And it was a little odd corner around the pond. You can just see the edge of the pond over there. And we never put any lion mud or anything. We just, see what happens. So it's starting to thin out a little bit. Also, I wanted to mention something that with customers that I've talked with and experience that I've had on the management of fescue, spring management especially. We tend to plant these spring annuals, and we got hung up over utilizing these spring annuals. And, well, I got to finish this. I got 2 more days on this triticale or whatever it is. Then I'm going to get on my Bar Optima. On a new stand of Bar Optima, if it's ready to graze, if it's 6 to 8 inches tall, you drop everything else and you let the cows go in there and top graze it. Don't graze it hard, just top graze it. And I think that would make a lot of difference. I would contend that probably as much of the stand thinning clumpiness in the novel endophytes comes from underutilizing it in the spring, just as much as overgrazing it in the summer. Okay, there's cocoa again. All right, that field there is Italian ryegrass seeded into the chicory. There's still some of it there. So this fall, this will get planted to Bar Optima, and we'll terminate this before it drops seed or produces seed. Very important, is from what we found. Here's these next 2 are the same field. This is an experimental that we had the opportunity to plant. This was planted in 2011, I believe, and actually comes from Ag Research. We have course, I told you earlier that we switched to ryegrass. We're going to use ryegrass. And so 2 winters in a row, we strip graze this with heifers in the wintertime, but no back fence. They were actually on this area plus 2 acres to the side of it the whole winter, both winters. And just, there was times you can see down there on the bottom, there's a swale down there, and it's mostly gone. But this is, in my opinion, I'm going to say some of the best is still to come. This is a very, from what I've seen, this is a very good variety. Here, we planted this last fall. This was actually planted probably, and I have to look at my notes for sure, but I think this was planted between the 10th and the 20th of October. Really too late, and I was afraid it was not going to make it. Now, the fertility on this field is fairly good by now, so that makes a difference. It was seeded with an Aitchison drill, and let's see if we can see it. It might be able to see it, but right there's a line. There's 5, see there's Lacefield, Max-Q, there's Jessup Max-Q, there's Martin 2 with the Protect, and the Bar Optima all in this field, and all of them look great. I mean, there's, at this point. So we're really anxious to see how this will turn out. This area here will get used mostly stockpile and hay production. And I think that might be my last one.